What's going on, boxing fans? 420 Boxing Network, your boy Buddha Priest here. Let's get right into this video, man. I ain't gonna waste no time. Devin Haney. I seen Devin Haney on $1 million worth of game, and he was popping this ish, as we would say. He was popping his ish, and as he should, because Devin Haney is a great fighter, man. Devin Haney is simply a great fighter. I'm going to give him his flowers on this channel. On 420 Boxing Network, we're going to give Devin Haney his flowers. And I know a lot of you guys is going to say, oh, Devin, he hasn't fought anybody. And, oh, this guy. It's some guys, you can see them real young. And you can see the things that they're doing in the ring and realize, oh, if he's doing that at that age, he's really good. And he's going to be really good. And Devin Haney is a champion. You see what I'm saying? No, Teofimo is not the undisputed champion at 30. If you ain't beat Devin Haney was a champion before Teofimo. He turned pro before Teofimo Lopez. So how can you be undisputed if you haven't beat this guy who was champion before you was? You see what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of people got it twisted at. A lot of promotional companies come with different narratives that benefits their fighter. But no, that's why I created 420 Boxing Network, so I can give you guys the real. I can be transparent with you guys because I want to let you know what's really going on. Who's the real fighters? Who's really being ducked? Who's really? Come on, man. These things is, a guy who owns a promotional, let's say a Top Rank, he's going to tell you, hey. And Devin Haney spoke about this on $1 million worth of game. He says Top Rank and ESPN, they work hand in hand. So, of course, if they work with Top Rank, they're going to be more lenient towards Top Rank fighters. Of course, their verbiage is going to be catered towards Top Rank fighters because that's who they do business with. That's who got the bottom line. That's who they share the bottom line with. It's business, which is fine. That's cool. Whatever. It's part of the game. But I need you fans to really know, you fans to really know what's up with the 35 division. Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney are top-notch guys. Now, everybody knows that I'm a big... See, we're not biased over here at 420 Boxing Network. We can tell you who our favorite fighter is and still give you an accurate breakdown, unbiased breakdown. We can still be honest, even though we know, like my favorite fighter, my favorite guy from the division would be Shakur and Tank. But if you want to say the best guys, I'm going to have to say Haney and Shakur, because they're the most defensive. They're the most defensive responsible. They're the most pure. They're the most careful. They're tacticians. You see what I'm saying? They understand distance. Meaning, when you understand distance, when you're a fighter who understands distance, you don't miss a lot of punches. You see what I'm saying? You don't miss a lot of jabs, or your rate, your connect percentage is not super far apart, 30, 20%, 15, something crazy, because you understand distance. And that's what he was speaking about on $1 million worth of game, Devin Haney. But one of the things that he spoke about on $1 million worth of game was his sparring session with Floyd Mayweather. And it wasn't Devin Haney being braggadocious about the sparring session, because we know what happens behind closed doors and sparring sessions should stay there. So when all these leaked sparring sessions get out, it's not right, really. In the grand scheme of things, it's not right, but it happens. Things leak in the internet age. So he spoke about his sparring with Floyd Mayweather, and he spoke about his sparring with Gervontae Davis, and he also spoke about his sparring with Shakur Stevenson. Now, his sparring session with Shakur Stevenson is up on YouTube. You guys can go watch it. It's not speculation. He let it be known that, hey, Haney was a couple of years younger than Shakur. He was 16, Shakur was 18. He let it be known that Devin wasn't really in shape. Like Shakur was getting ready for a tournament. Devin wasn't in a tournament. He was just, he wasn't in shape and all that. Which is not an excuse, it's just, what it is. So he let that be known. Bill, his dad, Devin Haney's dad, so he let that be known. But he also spoke about his sparring session, because I feel like he said that because Shakur kind of got the best of Devin in that sparring session. But he spoke about his sparring session. Devin Haney spoke about his sparring session with Floyd Mayweather. And he was very, well, his dad, like I said before, Devin wasn't braggadocious about his sparring session with Floyd. It was more so his dad letting it be known that, hey, my son, he did work on Floyd. He said Devin simply just did work on Floyd. That's what he did. That's what his daddy said. He said Devin got the better of him. And he says, see, in the doghouse, which is Floyd's backyard, the doghouse boxing, the doghouse rules is you fight till somebody quit. But of course, Floyd's the big boss, so Floyd will have 3, 4 different sparring partners. So he'll tell one guy, all right, that's enough, you get out, and the next guy come in. But his dad let it be known that when he was in there with Errol Spence, when Floyd was in there with Errol Spence, he called Spence back in. Yeah, Spence got the better of him the first one. Even his dad said, everybody knows this by now. Spence got the better of Floyd in the first sparring session, and then he called Spence back in, and he got the better of Spence. But he said with Devin, when Devin sparred Floyd, Floyd got the better, Devin got the better of Floyd, and Floyd never called him back in. You feel me? So he let that be known. And that's very important. See, a lot of these young guys, you think Ryan Garcia can get in there with Floyd sparring and Floyd don't make a fool out of him? And it's not about who winning a sparring match, because sparring is simply just a guy getting ready for a match. I think Floyd was getting ready for Conor, and that was one of his lightest training sessions. He didn't really train hard for Conor, so he wasn't really going hard like that. But his dad let him, Devin Haney's dad let it be known that, hey, if Floyd could have did you up, if Floyd could have bust you up in that sparring session, he would have. Because anybody who follows boxing and who follow Floyd Mayweather, if y'all real Floyd Mayweather fans out there, y'all know he don't take it easy on sparring partners. He does them dirty. But he couldn't do that to Errol Spence. He couldn't do that to Devin Haney. And that's probably one of the reasons why Floyd don't fight the younger guys now, because he feel like he's probably getting older or whatnot. But Devin let it be known that, hey, he touched Floyd up in that sparring session. He let that be known. Not only did he let that be known, he let it be known that, hey, he touched up Gervontae Davis also in sparring. That's a fact. And he says he's offering $20K for anybody who can find a video of that sparring session between Gervontae Davis and Haney and Gervontae. Anybody can find that sparring, Devin Haney is offering $20K for that. That's a fact. So, hey, that's all I wanted to report. And he wasn't hating. He let it be known that Gervontae got to him first. The first sparring session, Gervontae got him. The second sparring session, he got Gervontae. Devin Haney got Gervontae. So that's how that went. He let it be known. He said, but see, in doghouse rules is hey, we fight till somebody quit. And he said he beat Gervontae. He said the rules is we fight till somebody quit, and I won in the doghouse. And not only did he win, he says that his dad, Bill, bet money on his son and won. The guy paid him that. So that's recorded. He paid him. His dad is reporting that he was paid for a bet between Haney and Gervontae Davis in a sparring session. He was paid money on a bet on his son, Devin Haney, and won. That's what he's saying. So that means that Devin Haney beat Gervontae Davis in a sparring session. And that's not too far-fetched. Because like I said earlier in the video, I like Gervontae Davis. He probably one of my favorites out the 35 division. But that don't mean that just because he's my favorite, I'm going to say he's going to beat Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Those are the two guys that I worry about. I don't worry about Gervontae Davis when it comes to Teofimo or whoever else you want to throw in there. But I do worry about him when it comes to Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. Because a guy who throws like Gervontae Davis with bad intentions, if you have nothing to hit, then you have to think. And that's what Devin Haney alluded to in the interview also. He like, hey, if I'm fighting a guy like Tank who knocks everybody out, what happens when he has to think? When you can't throw a big shot, what are you going to do? So, hey, you know, he thinks a certain way of Gervontae Davis, Devin Haney. So he let that be known on me. He let a lot of stuff be known on $1 million worth of game. He was talking big-ish. His daddy was talking big-ish. He talk about how he beat Floyd in sparring. He talk about how he beat Gervontae in sparring. He talk about how he kind of lost to Shakur in sparring. And them doghouse sparring, I know y'all talking, oh, sparring and sparring. No, doghouse sparring is not like regular sparring. In doghouse, it's not, oh, let's, play fight and we getting ready. No, doghouse means we in there, we fighting till somebody can't go no more. And when Devin Haney, this is what Devin Haney said, when he fought Gervontae Davis the second time in sparring, he said they fought till somebody didn't want to go no more and he won. That's what he said. Go watch the tape. That's what he said out of his mouth. He said, his dad said when he got in there with Floyd, when Devin Haney got in there with Floyd, he touched Floyd up. And Floyd, they ended sparring and Floyd never called him back in for sparring. So hey, he letting it be known. He not sugarcoating anything. And I don't think he should sugarcoat it, in my opinion. So hey, it is what it is. Devin Haney beat Gervontae in sparring and he beat Floyd in sparring. And Haney said on $1 million worth of game that in sparring, to win in sparring, it has to be very clear. You can't go back and forth with a guy in sparring and say you won. It has to be clear. So he said he winning these things clear. But he was honest. Don't say that, oh, he's lying, all that, because he's been honest about the Shakur one that's out. He's been, you know what I mean? And he's offering $20K for anybody can find the footage of the second sparring session between Gervontae Davis and Devin Haney. I want somebody to bring that up. Please. Gervontae is my favorite fighter at 35, but please bring it up. Him and Shakur. So please bring that sparring up. If you got a footage of Devin Haney sparring Gervontae Davis to the end, bring that out, please. You will be 20K richer. And I don't know about y'all, but I can use 20K. If I had it, you know what? He says that not only does he say he got the sparring, Devin Haney says AB Man's got the sparring. He says Ellie Sekback reporting. Yeah, they say Ellie Sekback got the sparring and Floyd got the sparring. But he said also AB Boy got the sparring. So he feel like he can get it from AB Boy. But he probably can't get it from Floyd or Ellie Sekback. He said Ellie Sekback take medicine. He said Ellie Sec back there, so he ain't no telling. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, I'm just reporting the news. Just in case people ain't seen $1 million worth of game, check it out. Devin Haney on there. But man, y'all already know what it is. It's 420 Boxing Network. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm bringing y'all exclusive content. You're not about to find nobody bringing y'all reporting on what Devin Haney said on $1 million worth of game. But I am. Because it's 420 Boxing Network. We the real. We the streets. I'm out of here, man. Holla at y'all.